Of Music City. How is everybody feeling today?
Good.
Happy spring day. It's so beautiful. I think the warm weather has officially arrived for a good long time. Yeah. We are ready for it. All right, we're going to start off today. We're going to sing two songs in a row. And the first song we're going to sing is I'm Gonna Sing. I'm gonna sing about the love in my heart. I'm gonna sing about the love in my heart. I'm gonna sing about the love in my heart. I'm gonna sing about love and give God the glory. I'm gonna walk and talk and sing and pray, connected to the Holy Spirit every day. I'm gonna walk and talk and sing and shout and give God the glory. I'm gonna sing about the joy in my heart. I'm gonna sing about the joy in my heart. I'm gonna sing about the joy in my heart. I'm gonna sing about joy and give God the glory. I'm gonna walk and talk and sing and pray, connected to the Holy Spirit every day. I'm gonna walk and talk and sing and shout and give God the glory. All right, take it up. I'm gonna sing because I'm free at last. 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 I'm gonna walk and talk and sing and pray, connected to the Holy Spirit every day. I'm gonna walk and talk and sing and shout and give God the glory, and give God the glory, and give God the glory. Yes. And surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Beautiful. Please be seated.
Good morning, Unity of Music City.
Good morning.
Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep, centering breath. Today's centering statement is, love, joy, and peace are my highest spiritual principles. When we experience love, peace, and joy within the human experience, love can be warm and fuzzy, peace can be calm and tranquil, and joy can be happiness on overdrive. But when we experience these emotions through the divine presence that lives in us all, we can have a deeper, richer experience that can totally transform our lives. When we embody divine love for all creation, we can feel the interconnectedness of all life. In divine love, we can have a genuine desire to see the best in everything, and we are open to seeing everyone as who they are, a divine child of God. When we know to our soul that we are a divine child of God, we can experience joy like a little child. From this perspective, finding joy is easy because we know that the Creator of the universe has it all under control, and joy is our divine birthright. Peace becomes more than just a fleeting feeling because we know that in God all is well, life is good, and we are truly blessed. The deeply rooted peace of God extends all over creation, and we appreciate every encounter as an aspect of the divine. Let's say these 3 affirmations together. I see love in every person and every situation. I experience true joy when I know that I am a divine child of God. I begin each day in gratitude and end each day in peace. And so it is.
So it is. Well, welcome to Unity of Music City, and surely the presence of the divine is in this place, and in all places, and in all people. We celebrate and honor people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age, and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. And that God is expressing in many, many ways and through each and every one of us. Unity of Music City is a place where we gather to remember the truth of our oneness with God and with each other. So welcome every energy being here. That's my woo-woo moment. And welcome to everyone online. We're glad you're with us, sharing your energy with us today. Sherry, do we have any announcements?
We do. Okay. A new class begins Wednesday, May 4th for 8 weeks from 6:30 to 8 p.m. The book, Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown, can be purchased on Amazon. This class is facilitated by our own Deb Moore in workshop format with honest discussion and practical applications. To register, go to the church website PayPal section to pay $60 in advance or $10 a week for the class and use the note, in quotation marks, feature to indicate that your payment is for the class. Please include your email address. You can also email the church, unityofmusiccity@gmail.com, to register or if you have questions. We are looking to form a property search committee. If you would like to help in finding our new church home, our new community home, please email unityofmusiccity@gmail.com. An email regarding membership renewal has gone out, so if you haven't done that yet, please do. Please take a moment to respond to, there's just 3 questions, and they're easy. And email it back to the church no later than this week. Thank you for your time in doing this, as it promotes accurate record keeping for our church community. The prayer chaplains are available, as always, for your prayers. If you have a prayer concern that you would like the chaplains to be made aware of, you can email the prayer request to uofmcprayerrequests@gmail.com. There's also a prayer box in the back of the room if you're present in person today, and drop in a prayer request or a concern that you may have. Any and all prayer requests are welcome. That's it.
All right. Well, today is the first Sunday of a new month. Already, we are in May. And May is very special because today is my anniversary. That's right. Very happy. Very, very happy to celebrate my first official anniversary. We've been together. This is our 15th, start of our 15th year together, but official 1 year of marriage. So everything is good. So that also means that we are going to start a new monthly mantra. And each month I kind of try to bring us songs that either embody what we teach or embody the way that we want to see the world. And so I think this song does that on both counts today. So this is a classic. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. So let's stand up and sing it. Of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? they're really saying, I love you. I see babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Please be seated.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today's affirmation is, I do what love would do. All together, please. I do what love would do. I do what love would do, but not all the time. I mean, I try, I really do. I want to do what love would do. It's my desire to always do what love would do. But sometimes I fail. Sometimes I have road rage. Sometimes I get tired of hearing people whine about their problems. Sometimes I bring a little too much get it together energy and not enough how can I help energy. But I also know the power of being intentional. And I know the power of speaking those intentions out loud and often. I know that when I do that, when I set intentions, speak intentions, and repeat intentions, those intentions become my reality. So I repeat again and again and again, I do what love would do. I do what love would do. I do what love would do.
So let's take a moment and center ourselves. Maybe close your eyes. I want you in your spirit to just sit with these thoughts and say to yourself what I'm about to say. Just hear the echo in your spirit. I do what love would do. Because I am love. It is the very stuff of which I am made. It is the essence of my being. When I do what love would do, I am being my most authentic self. And because I do what love would do, in this moment, I forgive myself for the times when I don't. Because the love that I am is first directed toward myself. And I know that when I'm acting outside of love, that my ego has convinced me it's in charge. That for just a brief moment, I have forgotten who I am. I have forgotten that the love that created this universe sent out little sparks of itself, and I am one of those sparks. I do what love would do, because to do anything else is a betrayal of myself. I let myself rest in the identity of love that I am, knowing that all else is a delusion and all else is forgiven. I do what love would do. I sing how love would sing. I speak how love would speak. Because I am love. And when I express in the world, love is what is felt. And I am grateful for the opportunity to be the expression of love in this life. Thank you, God. Thank you, love, for being the energy in which I can live and move and have my being. And I sit in that energy now, in the silence. In the silence. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely I live in love, for I am love, and I do what love would do.
Mother God, thank you for this day, for the love that you wash over me, and this joy in my heart I will share with the world. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, flowing through our hearts, we give thanks for the bread of our lives, for the hands in the earth, and the fruit of your womb. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, thank you for this day, for the love that you wash over me, and this joy in my heart I will share with the world. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
I got to tell you, I just love us. I really do, because blessed be, of course, is a pagan greeting, right? Blessed be. And we started off about as Baptist as you could get. With surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
We had rehearsal last Thursday, and we were talking about that, how
Yeah.
wonderful it is to be part of a spiritual community where you can do that.
Isn't that fantastic? You've just made me think, Ryan, that we need microphones like this for everyone in the congregation,
I don't know about that.
so that when they speak to us, is that camera looking at me? It is. Okay, it looks very odd, but hello everybody. How are y'all doing today? Good morning, everybody. We are in the second of our series on our We Believe statements. We Believe Part 2. There we go. It's going to be really tough for Janet in the church office to put every week in the weekly happenings what the title of the talk was this week, because for the next 6 weeks it's going to be We Believe Part whatever. We Believe Part 2, and of course we came up with these 7 belief statements when we met as a membership. Last week we talked about how a direct relationship with universal presence, known by many names, is available to all. And then we have these other 7. I'm not going to read them all to you, because over the course of the next, first of all, you've probably heard them. If you haven't, take a picture. You'll hear them a lot, right? So this week, you're going to hear those every week. This week, we're focused on this. Love, peace, and joy are our highest spiritual principles. The most difficult concept, the most difficult part of this entire statement is the fact that our and our are next to each other. So you have to enunciate very clearly to get our highest spiritual principles. And I love this picture of these 3 boys playing in the water. Frankly, here's the thing. When they're playing in the water like this, all of those things are present. Love and joy and peace are present. So, love, peace, and joy are our highest spiritual principles. Let's talk about that word principle for just a moment, because we talked about it when we formulated these ideas together. What is a principle? Why do we refer to love, peace, and joy as our principles? Well, if you go to the dictionary, which is my favorite book, it's number 1 on Deb's all-time bestseller list. As I tell my students, nobody uses a dictionary more than an English professor, because we know how important it is to get the right meaning of the right word. So there are 3 meanings of principle that I want to talk about a little bit. First off, a principle is a fundamental truth that serves as a foundation for a system of belief. A fundamental truth. Love is a fundamental truth. Peace, joy, those are fundamental truths of the spirituality and the spiritual journey that we advocate and that we try to nurture and we try to support here, right? Secondly, a principle is a general scientific theorem or law, a natural law forming the basis of function. Now you might go, well, Deb, you could have left that one out. Right, we'll go with the first one, but we'll leave that second one out. But that second one, I love the second one, because we're all about some natural law here at Unity, right? How many times did you ever hear Denise Jurgen say, you know what, because that's the law, right? This is the truth because that's the law. It is the natural spiritual law of the universe. And so I love the idea that a natural law of the universe is love and peace and joy. It's not just a sweet idea that we came up with and decided would be a fun thing to have on a logo. It is a law of the universe. We're just tapping into it. The third third definition of principle is that it is a fundamental source or basis of something, a fundamental quality, an essence. I love that. These principles, these fundamental truths, these natural laws, this essence of who we are is love and peace and joy. So I think we've got principle handled there, don't we? Principles handled. So we always sang a song around unity, and I thought for a moment that maybe today Brian might sing it. But we used to sing this song all the time, and it went like this. We are love, joy, and peace. Everything else we release, right? We are love, joy, and peace. Everything else we release. I knew you'd go there with me. Now, you'll notice that I say love, peace, and joy, and in a moment I'm going to tell you why I put it in that order. I'm pretty sure that Judy Blackwelder did love, joy, and peace because she needed something that rhymed with release, right? Because love, peace, and joy, everything else, it was annoying. Okay, I don't know, something like that. But this is kind of the essence of who we are. Now, I want to go back a little bit because I'm going to talk about this idea of positivity and positive living today that spring out of love and peace and joy. Many, many years ago, I started attending Unity in the late 90s. And I was around Unity for several years, and then I was not around Unity for several years, and I came back in about 2011, I think it was. And I didn't go away from spirituality or from my own spiritual journey. As a matter of fact, those 10 years away were some of the most valuable time that I ever spent in my spiritual journey. But one of the issues that I had at that time is there was not a big messy story or anything to tell. There's no big drama to share with you. But one of the reasons I kind of pulled back and stepped away was because in the late 90s, Unity, our Unity congregation, much like a lot of New Thought churches, was riding the wave of the apex of this positive thinking idea in spirituality. That had been an idea that had been forming over the 20th century, really the 19th and 20th century, but it has picked up steam and picked up steam and picked up steam. And I would say the 1990s were kind of the big apex flowering of it, this idea of positive living. And so what was being taught a lot at Unity was that your thoughts create your reality. You manifest your reality, right? Which is not a bad thing. I'm not here to poo-poo that or discount that in any kind of way, because there's a great deal of power in that. And what we actually get to, one of our 7 beliefs, is the creative power of our thoughts and our beliefs. But I also recognized that one of the ways that you teach this is that you teach it as a very fundamental law, absolutely, and if you don't have the reality you want, then maybe you need to look at your vibration, you need to look at your thoughts, you need to look at your beliefs. During that early period when I was at Unity twice, I had gut-wrenching, life-changing, kneecap punched out from underneath you events happen in my life. Things that came up and just blindsided you and took your breath away. And in both of those instances, our minister at the time, Patricia Ryder, ministered to me. She came up to me and she put her arms around me and she said, Deb, I'll never forget this. Sometimes we get it a little bit wrong. You didn't create this. And in that moment, she ministered to me. That was a moment that ministered to me. But I also recognized that I wanted to hear that on a Sunday morning. I wanted us to wrestle honestly. And I don't blame Patricia or blame anybody else for that. What I see is that as a group of people, we've been evolving. We've been learning new layers of truth all the way through. We've been stepping into new, deeper understanding. And each person along the way shares their understanding of the truth, right? I was so grateful. When I went away, when I pulled back for those 10 years, I stepped into a place where I said, okay, I'm going to put the prosperity idea over there for a while. What is the prosperity I want in my life? I want love and peace and joy, right? I don't really need the big house or the big fancy car or this kind of stuff. What do those things represent for me? And when I want those things, when I want that award, what does it represent? Does it represent some love that I feel a void, right? I feel a void in my life with that love. What does it represent? And I was so, so grateful when I stepped back into Unity and I found out that was exactly what Denise Jurgen was teaching. Love, joy, and peace. Everything else we release. In those days when we first started, we were so on the positive thinking train, and I love positive thinking. We're going to be very positive about positive thinking in just a moment. Hang with me. We called ourselves Unity Center for Positive Living. That was our name. And then we got upset because nobody knew we were a church, and so we changed it to Unity Church of Positive Living. And then we got upset because everybody thought we were a church. Right? We didn't know who we were. But we set that up, and that was who we were, and we put that out. God is good. There is only God, and God is only good. It's the number one unity principle, right? There is only God, and God is only good. Think and grow rich. Think positively, right? And so, but here's the thing. There's something called Newton's third law of motion. Here's the nerdy part. You know there's always going to be a nerdy part. Newton's third law of motion is, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. And so when we put forth positive thinking, guess what? Things happen and they start pushing back. There's a reason why, since the beginning of this nation, we haven't been all Republican or all Democrat. Because one of those groups gets in power, and pretty soon here comes the pushback the other way. And then that group gets in power, and here comes the pushback the other way. And that's kind of the way that it works. There is an equal and opposite reaction. And so I know people, I'm friends with people on social media, and I've heard from people who used to attend this spiritual community, used to be a part of this, who now feel wounded from what they call toxic positivity. And toxic positivity gets talked about a lot on social media these days. There are a lot, not just people affiliated with us, but people all over the world who have felt a little bit of a positivity that didn't understand their experience. So I want to spend just a second talking about that. First off, the definition of what toxic positivity is. The overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state that results in the denial, minimization, and invalidation of the authentic human emotional experience. We're all about authenticity here, and authenticity sometimes isn't pretty, right? Sometimes you got to sit with someone in the mess. And when I'm trying to deny the reality of someone's existence, I'm not showing up in love and joy and peace. Just this past week, someone I know who's not affiliated with this congregation in any way, shape, or form, but I happen to be friends on social media with this person, they posted a series of cartoons that demonstrated how it looks when people come at you with toxic positivity. Now, let me just say, in all honesty, because it's really easy to get up here and make some kind of absolute statement, but the truth is that life is a little bit more gray than that. And while I understand the potential damage of toxic positivity, the person who posted this could use any kind of positivity in her life. Even toxic positivity would be a step up for this person. So I just want to recognize that. But at the same time, I saw exactly what she was talking about, and I felt her woundedness come through in this. So I wanted to share these with you. These come from The New Yorker, a cartoonist for The New Yorker. So let's just look at some of these. Have you considered taking up yoga? Right? You got Joan of Arc burning at the stake there. Not Joan, well, she didn't burn. Did she burn at the stake? Maybe she did. I can't remember. Burn at the stake. You've got someone who's really, really being martyred, being mistreated, feeling they've got the fire. They feel like their hands are tied behind their back. And someone comes up to them and says, have you considered taking up yoga? That'd make you feel a lot more balanced, really. Just focus on the things you can control, right? Assuming that truck is coming at them at about 80 miles per hour, what I can control is maybe whether my eyes are open or whether they are shut when this happens. Also, I may not even be able to control that because neurobiologists and neuroscientists have done a lot of study on what happens with the brain when you are faced with that kind of danger. And a lot of times, I'm not making any conscious choices. And when people are faced with trauma, it may be something much, much bigger than telling someone how to adjust their thinking, right? You need to speak goodness into existence, right? To the person who has fallen off the cliff, right? You just need to speak some goodness into existence. And again, that's what it can feel like to someone who is going through trauma and someone comes up to them with a platitude. Why am I coming up to you with a platitude? Maybe it's because the whole fact that you're falling off a cliff is making me uncomfortable. And I'm going to need you to change because this is not very comfortable for me. So and also, I'm enlightened. And I need you to know that I'm enlightened. So I'm going to tell you what the answer is. Focus on the positive in the situation. Well, my right hand is dry. That's the positive in that situation. I can go with that, right? When someone is drowning, they don't need a platitude. They need a life preserver. Many, many years ago, a friend of mine was back in the 90s. I was very, very holistic in the 90s. I'm still pretty holistic. I'm a little bit balanced across all of things, right? I'm all about some lavender oil and give me an antibiotic. I can deal with both of those things at the same time. But I had a friend of mine who was going through a really tough time, struggle with some depression. And I don't understand really clinical depression. I've never had that. I've had situational depression. I've been down, but I have not been under the weight of clinical depression. So I know that I'm not able to really speak to someone about that. And she was struggling with this, and she had gone to see a therapist, and the very first thing, she'd gone to see a psychologist, the very first thing they had done is they had put her on an antidepressant. And my gut reaction at the time, because I was still I didn't know what I was talking about. Sometimes toxic positivity lives in the land of you don't know what you're talking about, sometimes. Because I didn't know what I was talking about, I was like, oh, do you have to do that? I mean, are you not doing talk therapy? Is there something else, like maybe exercise? Run around the block, right? Do some yoga, right? And my friend very gently said to me, because she understood where I was coming from, and I could almost feel this pat on the head through the phone line. She very gently said to me, Deb, there will be a time for all of that. Right now, I need to get back to a safe space. When I get back to the safe space, then we'll start using that. She taught me so much in that moment, right? She taught me so much. Focus on the positive. Maybe you should make a vision board. I love this one. Reminds me a little bit of what I'm going to put on my mother's tombstone one day. Get up and move around. You'll feel better, right?
You don't put that on her tombstone.
It's going to be a problem. Maybe you should make a vision board. And that, again, is coming from our own discomfort and from our own sense that we might, or our need to have an answer. Guess what? We don't have to have the answer in that moment. Love doesn't always have an answer. It just has love. That's it. There's a little bit of an overlap in something with toxic positivity, and I'm going to get to the point in a minute with healthy positivity. But toxic positivity has a little bit of an overlap with something called gaslighting. I know that's really small. You may not be able to read this, but I'm going to talk you through it here. When we get our new building, we're going to have the largest screen you can imagine. Toxic positivity versus gaslighting. Gaslighting is something that happens when the other person kind of manipulates you into thinking that you're crazy. Someone else kind of manipulates you into thinking that you don't know what you're talking about. Even if you saw it with your own eyes, you know that it's true, but somehow they have managed to convince you you might not know what you're talking about. So toxic positivity and gaslighting can have some of the same results. The difference is that when people gaslight, they're doing it on purpose. And when people come at others with toxic positivity, They're not usually. It's usually completely inadvertent. They don't mean that. They really don't mean to be toxic in that moment. But the overlap up here between that purposefulness and that inadvertency is it's that what they're both doing is suggesting a less negative view of reality. Maybe because that feels more comfortable for me or for whatever reason, but I need for there to be a less negative view of reality here. Gaslighting has an intent to manipulate, whereas toxic positivity really has an intent to make someone feel better. They're coming with a good intention. Right? Nobody in the 90s at Unity was doing something from bad intention. They had found something that worked for them. How many of you in here have been benefited from positive thinking? Yeah, I have. Many, many times I've benefited from shifting my own perception into a more positive place. And so sometimes I just want to share that with people. So I have an intent to help someone feel better, but what they're both doing, whether there's an intent to manipulate or intent to make someone feel better, is they're invalidating a person's feelings in that moment. Maybe there's a time for encouraging someone into positive thinking, and maybe there's a time to just be quiet and love them in this moment, right? Gaslighting is rooted in selfishness. Toxic positivity is rooted in caring. I really want to care for somebody, but the same result comes from both, is that it causes frustration and it causes resentment in the person who is being approached with this. Now, what does this look like? This next slide I'm going to show you shows the difference between toxic positivity and genuine optimism or genuine positivity or genuine help. And I have to admit that if I go down the list of toxic positivity, I've said almost every single one of those. Almost every single one. So toxic positivity might be being negative won't help you. That is my attempt to shift someone because you're making me uncomfortable. You know, being negative is not going to help you in this moment. Now, I know that being negative is not going to help. I know that for my own life, being negative doesn't help me. But at the same time, it's not helping that other person to tell them either. So genuine optimism would be, it is important to let it out. Is there anything I can do to make this easier for you? Brene Brown says, what does support look like right now? What would support from me look like right now? Right? And so, what a beautiful question to ask someone. Rather than trying to impose my own idea of what you need on you, you tell me, what can I do for you? Toxic positivity is good vibes only. I don't know. I'm not going to even ask the question of how many people have a coffee cup that says that, or a T-shirt, or a bumper sticker, or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that idea. Good vibes are a wonderful thing. We want to nurture them. We want to build them up. We want to create a space for good vibes to happen. But when we say good vibes only, we're then putting a little bit of a, right? We're excluding people instead of, I love you through all of your emotional states. You don't have good vibes right now? That's okay, I love you. I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to hold the space with some good vibes for you, or I'm going to hold your hand while you sit there in your low vibration and I'm going to just be here, not by your side, right? Toxic positivity, you'll get over it. Sounds a little bit like this too shall pass, right? And how many times? That's a parent's number one phrase right there. My mother has said that so many times. You'll get over it. It's all right. You're just a skin knee, whatever. I used to say when we were growing up, you had to be bleeding from a major artery to get taken to the emergency room in my family, right? You could have a bone sticking out. She'd be like, you'll get over it. That'll heal. And so this kind of you'll get over it instead of you are so resilient, and I know your strength will get you through this, but it's tough right now. Think about how different it might be if we used these first with ourselves. What if we stood in the mirror and said, you are so resilient and your strength will get you through this. I know that. Instead of beating ourselves up a little bit with, you'll get over it. Hey, buck up, right? That leads right into the next one. Other people have it a lot worse. Now, I have used that successfully on myself at times. There have been times when I feel a little down and out, and then I go, you know what? You are still wealthier than 93% of the planet. You are blessed with riches compared to so many people on the planet. And there have been times that I have used that to kind of shift myself into a place of gratitude instead of a place of woe is me. But look at the power of you're not alone and there is support to help you. Guess what? Just because someone else had it worse does not negate that I'm struggling right now. Does not negate that I'm hurting right now. And so rather than telling me, hey, you don't deserve, other people have it worse, is saying you don't deserve to feel bad right now. Instead of, you're not alone. And I'm here to support you through this. Toxic positivity, smile, crying won't help. Let me say this especially to the men in the congregation. Do not ever, under any circumstances, tell a woman to smile. I mean, for no reason, ever do that. So I went into a MAPCO one day, and I was getting something, I don't know, a candy bar, something like that. And I walked up to the counter with my candy bar, and I was doing the business of opening my wallet and getting stuff out there. I wasn't even looking at the clerk behind me. I was just doing what I was doing. And the clerk says, smile, you'll be prettier. I am proud to tell you that that clerk is still walking upright. Because it demonstrates a great deal of control on my part, right? And so that whole smile, commanding a smile, let me tell you, if you really want to show up in love for someone, love them in a way that they just naturally smile because of your presence in that moment. But they don't smile because you told them to, right? Instead of that, what about it's okay to cry? We all do it. Do you need a tissue? Can I get something for you? Right? Do you want to cry on my shoulder? I'll let you do that. Because if I let you cry on that shoulder, chances are, how many times has someone cried on your shoulder, and by the time that little session was all said and done, y'all were laughing? Right? It gets you to that place. Just stay positive. Right? As if you can command yourself into that place. As if you can command your emotions. I believe that you can shape your emotions, you can entice your emotions, you can do all, but I don't think you can command them. They are what they are. And genuine optimism might say, hey, things are tough right now. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to do something lighthearted? What a great option. What would support look like right now? Do you want to sit and wallow in it for a minute? Just for a minute, because I'll wallow with you. Or do you want to try to forget it for a minute, because we'll go watch a funny movie? Right? What is it that you need from me right now? Now, again, we all know the power of this positivity and the creative power of thinking. Charles Fillmore said, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. It's a basic, fundamental truth of unity. That what we vibrate with, the thoughts that we have in our mind, what we perseverate on, what we chew on all the time in our mind, that is constantly creating the vibration and the reality that we live in. I used to do this on the way to work when I was bartending, and I would drive to work and I would be talking myself into a good place, and by the time I got there, I'd be happy. Right? So how do we show up? What is the guiding principle of how we show up in healthy positivity when someone is hurting, or when we're hurting ourselves? How do we show up for ourselves? Here's all I know is that love, peace, and joy will never take you in the wrong direction. If it is my desire to be love and peace and joy in this moment, I won't go wrong. It might not look pretty. It can get messy still. But love, peace, and joy will never mislead me. And here's the reason why I put them in this order. I put them in this order because love, everything starts with love. You have to start with love. And then love creates the space for peace to happen. And when you put love and peace together, you have joy. You have the joy of freedom. You have the joy of redemption, if you will. Redemption in your own mind from the ego that you have been held prisoner by. You have this freedom and this joy that springs only from love and peace. You can't have true joy without love and peace. And in fact, that brings me back to this picture that I started with, When I was trying to find a picture that exemplified this concept, love, peace, and joy are our highest spiritual principles, I thought about it for just a moment, and I thought, you know what? All I have to do is find a picture of joy. That's all I have to do, is find the picture of joy, because it is the result. It is the other side of the equation of love and peace. Right? So the question we ask ourselves in any given moment is, and I just turned that off. There we go. Hit the wrong button. How can I bring love to this moment? How can I bring love to this moment? Well, if you are love and you remember that, just bring yourself. Years ago, during my first season at Unity, we used to do these, what we called, Judy and Denise and I called Jesus shows. We used to do these Jesus shows. I would write the script, Judy would write the music, and we would put on this little musical, right? We did this Easter musical one year, and the woman who was playing Mary, the mother of Jesus, she's not here, don't worry about it, I'm going to talk about her anyway. Mary, the mother of Jesus, had this monologue where she had to express grief at hearing that her son had just died. It was a monologue designed to show her just as a mother, a grieving mother. And in our rehearsals, when she was rehearsing this, I'll just tell you, these rehearsals were the very reason that the phrase weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth was created. It was dramatic, and it was weeping, and it was wailing, and it was bad. I know we're not supposed to say bad, but it was bad. We weren't professional actors, right? We had people trying to do the best they could. Well, we did have a professional actor who went to church with us named Jerry Sager. She just actually finished a run on Broadway just about a week ago, as a matter of fact. And Jerry went to our church, and she was at this rehearsal. She came up behind me. I was the director of the show. She came up behind me, whispered in my ear, and she said, "Would you like a little piece of advice?" And I said, "I am begging for a piece of advice. Please tell me what to do." And she said, "Go up to her and say, 'Do it again, but don't you dare let me see you cry.'" And so I did that. I just walked out. I said, "I want you to do it again, but don't you dare let me see you cry. Don't you dare." And the result was an internal struggle that showed on her face, and a confusion at this moment, and that perfectly displayed grief. Perfectly displayed somebody in the moment of hearing that, right? And so how many times when we've wanted to be love in this moment, have we shown up and going, well, how do I act if I'm love? What do I say if I'm love? And how many times have we been maybe a little too melodramatic? Maybe not quite completely believable, because we're trying to be love instead of just being love. Because love is not always gentle. Love doesn't always say just the right thing. Love can be at a loss for words. In fact, a lot of times being love means just be quiet. Just be quiet in this moment. Let me go in. I am love. I do what love would do. Let me remind myself of that. I do what love would do. How can I bring peace to this moment? Sometimes in order to bring peace to the moment, I have to recognize that I'm the reason why there's not peace in the moment. There have been times when, how do I bring peace to this moment? The best way is to leave. I need to remove myself from this moment. Being truly honest about when I am in the spirit of conflict, and when I'm not just creating the field of peace. Right? How can I bring peace to this moment? Just a little bit. Sometimes it's even just, okay, all right, let's all just stop and breathe. Right? Let's take 3 deep breaths. We bring a little peace into this moment. How can I bring joy to this moment? Sometimes it's not altogether appropriate to bring joy, is it? I mean, if someone has just heard the most tragic news of their life, that is not the time to pull out a vaudeville routine. It's the time to sit with them. But especially people who we're really, really close with, like my sisters, I can know when the moment is in their tragedy that I need to start dropping some lightness in, because I know them, and I know that they need relief at that moment. Right? How can I bring joy? One of the ways I wish Frank was here. Happy anniversary, Frank, who's getting ready to go to Florida. One of the things I love about Frank is he does this piece really, really well, and I think the way that he brings joy to a lot of moments is that he celebrates other people. One of the best ways. Nikki's very good at that. I watch her sometimes and I just try to learn. Right? I just try to learn. She's in a wonderful group of professional musicians in Nashville. Their little group of people are just constantly building each other up, celebrating each other, every little thing celebrating. They bring joy into the moment. I'm recycling one of these from last week. Muji said, "You already are the peace you're looking for. Be still and know that. You already are the love you're looking for. You already are the joy you want to bring into this moment. Get still and tap into that." I'm recycling one more from last week. He said the greatest healing would be to wake up from what we are not. So when I am in an energy or acting in a way where I do not feel like love in this moment, I do not feel like peace, I do not feel like joy, that's okay. I don't need to beat myself up over it. But I can recognize that I'm also not in my authentic vibration in that moment. I'm not living my authenticity. And if I'm not, I'm probably not going to be much help. Probably not going to be much help, because what I am seeking, what everyone is seeking, what the person hurting in front of me is seeking, is the greatest healing of all. To wake up from what we are not. Right? So we talk about authentic transformation here, and this love, peace, and joy is a part of that authentic transformation. Love is what holds the space for authenticity. I love the fact that over the years, I have heard so many people come into this spiritual community and say, you know what, I just felt so much love there. What a beautiful testament to who we are and who we intend to be, and the space that we hold the space for authenticity. Peace nurtures authenticity. How am I to be in a place where I feel free enough and secure enough and safe enough to explore my authenticness? Well, it better be a peaceful place. There needs to be peace is the non-judgment. Peace and love are total non-judgment. And then joy is the result of that authenticity. That's why those three things are important principles for us, because that authentic transformation that we are holding the space for resonates with love, peace, and joy. It's as if love is the soil, and peace is the rain and the sun, and joy is the flower. Joy is the crocus. We're going to get t-shirts that say, "Joy is the crocus." Right? That's what happens. We grow beautiful things. As I was working on this talk this week, Spirit just kind of laid on my heart a prayer. I wanted to just sum it up, what this idea was for me. And so these two sentences came that I'm working with right now. I'm going to kind of hold these in my spirit, and maybe you can as well. Spirit, heal me to the point of understanding I am love, peace, and joy. And then allow my healed vibration to be of service in the healing of others. Namaste.
Well, after hearing that, it's so easy to be in a place of gratitude. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks everybody for being here today too. Thank you for giving of your talents, your treasures, your time, We appreciate you so much. Let's take a look at our ways to give. There's so many different ways that you can give back to your spiritual community. One is financially. You can give through the QR code to PayPal. The red bucket in the back is for your paper contributions, and we can also do an automatic bank draft if you'd like. We have an Amazon Smile account and Kroger Rewards card. So let's all say our offering affirmation together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I choose to give and all that I am open to receive. And we are grateful. Let's all sing together. I am grateful for another day of living. Grateful for a new chance to forgive. I'm grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. I am grateful for another day of living. I'm grateful for a new chance to forgive. I'm grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. Let's all stand. And Sherry, will you lead us in the prayer for protection? Thank you.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well. Life is good. We are truly blessed. We are truly blessed. We are truly blessed. We are. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody online.